If you were to ask a long distance runner, what is the key to enduring the race? Chances are you're going to hear the words pace and finding your rhythm. You've got your goals now. You're ready to put actionable steps in place. But how do you best? Here are 5 tips for embracing your path.
Shine, I'm gonna let it shine. I'm gonna let it shine. I'm gonna let it shine. I'm gonna let it.
Hi, I'm Dr. Z, and for most of my adult life, I planned like this, with a never-ending to-do list of items that needed to be completed. Whew. That didn't flow the way I intended for it to, but you catch my drift. If you're anything like me, you may have learned how to master your own madness. Other people may see it as chaotic, but for you, you know how to do what works for you. And that really is the focus of this video, is that though I've had to make some adjustments and some changes in my plans and how I execute them, really the foundation of who I am has remained. And that's critical because it's your race and you're the one that has to run it. You're the one that has to be able to say, I did it, and that I accomplished this in the way that worked best for me. So I'd like to give you 5 tips on how I embraced my path by showing you some ways that I was able to take the things that were needed for me while also embracing some things that I needed. First tip that I would share in embracing your journey and finding your rhythm is to do something until you find something better. So I love to be able to check off tasks. I am that girl that says, I did it, I accomplished it, it's done. And I like to see that on a day-to-day basis because it makes me feel like, hey, I have gone to this place and now I have this place to get to. The problem is I was creating this laundry list of items on a to-do list and there were still blank spaces that were left unchecked at the end of the day, which made me feel overwhelmed and like, oh, I didn't really do what I set out to do. Well, the new that I've embraced is the block schedule system, and I will link that above if you are interested in seeing if it works for you. I'm also going to do a follow-up video to this one on the pros and cons of using it to see if it's something that you would even want to try. But when I took on this new system, I didn't completely let go of the old. I still am allowed to take tasks and to check them off, but it allows me to put things in a category or a time block where I'm able to get tasks that are smaller done and to be able to say at the end of the day, I've done this, but I also was able to prioritize what was of importance and of value to me. So whatever steps you have laid out as your goals, think about what is the best way that you see as a way to accomplish those. Is it through planning for the month? Is it through planning for the week? Is it you being able to see on a day-by-day process? Is it all 3? So you have to find what works best for you and make it work until you find something else that you have to merge with it, throw out, take on, as long as you keep going in the process. Tip number 2 in finding your rhythm is to give yourself grace to run at your pace. We all go about things in different ways and in different times, and our effort may look different in different seasons because a season can change the amount that we can give to that task or that goal. So that's why finding and setting your pace requires grace. We all need grace to get through a task. It is going to require work. There is no shortcuts to the work that we're going to have to put into what we say we want to accomplish. The grace to not just give up and say it's not working, but grace says tomorrow is another day. It's a new day. It's a new opportunity to go after it again. So I want to make sure that you guys hear that. Give yourself the grace. God gives us the grace. We should be able to bestow that on ourselves as well. Tip number 3 in finding your rhythm is make sure that what you do is clear to you. The world doesn't have to know and understand it and be able to tell you what it is, but you should be able to tell yourself, this is my process. These are my steps. This is my journey that I took to get to this point. Step 1, step 2, step 3. And here's where a planner, an organizer, a journal, something that actually allows you to see your steps and your process and your progress is going to be advantageous to you. So for my planning overhaul, I realized that all these sheets kind of scattered in my life of things that I was doing in all these areas of my life, I needed to see it all in one place. And so when I found this planner that has it all mapped out in one place, I was like, score! This is the heavens opening up for me. Okay, so it now allows me to track everything in one place. Everything that I do on my block schedule, I now fuse it into here so I can see it no matter where I am and where I go. I take this with me, and it's almost become like my way of keeping track of my life. Okay, so you have to find your method, your way, and your process and work it. Tip number 4 goes really well with tip number 3 because it is to reflect on your process. Because you've made it clear what your process is, now you can go back and reflect on it. Some of the greatest athletes became that way because they went back and they reviewed the footage, the video that shows them what they look like on the ball court or on the football field or wherever they were. They review the tape and they take notes to make sure that they understand where did they go right, what are some things that they can improve, what are some things that they accomplished, because all of that matters in the grand scheme of things, and it helps you to move to the next step. So reflecting on your process is critical, and I actually received a beautiful journal. It's a planner, but I'm going to use it as a journal. I think it's interesting that as I'm doing this series, I actually ended up entering a giveaway on Instagram, and I won. I actually won. Shout out to One Busy Mommy LLC for this wonderful planner. And because I already have a planner, I'm going to use this as my daily journal so that I can actually write down how I felt about the process, some things that I noticed that day. Those things should be written down because you can reflect on them and go back and look at a journey over a period of time and see what did it require to get you where you got to. My final tip for you on embracing your rhythm and finding that rhythm and sticking to it is to build yourself up. There is nobody that can build you like you. You know what it requires, what it took, you know, the process you went through because you're working on that journal, you see your journey. And so it's important that you build yourself up. On those days when nobody's there to tell you, go, you got this, you can do this, look where you've come from, look how far you've come, you don't look like what you've been through. You better believe you better have a house of words for you and to celebrate yourself. I do not allow a week to go by that I don't celebrate something that I have accomplished on my day to day, because mama needs to refuel on a consistent basis, and I need to make sure that my wheelhouse of build up is full so that I have something to pour out and to give out to my babies, to my husband, to my family, to anybody that I come in contact with. So again, build yourself. Do something special for you. Celebrate you. Tell yourself that you have done the work and therefore you have gone the distance. I sure hope this video was helpful. I hope you found one tip that you would use. Leave a comment below and let us know what is a tip that you're going to embrace to find your rhythm, stay on rhythm, whatever it requires to accomplish what has been set in you to do, and to do it with all your might. We certainly appreciate you. We ask that you continue to like, subscribe, share with someone you know, and we just thank you for watching. Have a blessed